My name is Ronnie Stanley. I play offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens.
As a first-round draft selection for the Baltimore Ravens, All-Pro offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley knows how good it feels to be someone everybody wanted to pick. But it's the story of how he picked his canine companions that truly demonstrates just how much this 6'6", 315-pound hard hitter on the field has a soft spot for dogs that no one seemed to want.
There are so many less fortunate dogs out there, and a lot of them don't get adopted. So once I got to the NFL, I had the financial means. I knew I had the resources to take care of one mentally and physically.
To find his new best pal, Ronnie's teammates sent him over to Barks, Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter, an open admission shelter which takes in around 10,000 rescues a year. And while many of those rescues are puppies, Ronnie had a different type of dog in mind. So different, in fact, that it took everyone at Barks by complete surprise.
I went to Barks and I told them I wanted a dog that's been there for a while and that people probably don't want to adopt, but that's like really just like a really nice dog that deserves a chance, because I knew there's a lot of great dogs out there that might not look the part, but they're actually some of the best dogs in the world.
He wanted to see who was one of the least adoptable animals that we had here. And we had this one who was called Lola. She came from a situation that wasn't good. She was left in a vacant building. Clearly, she had been bred a lot. She was very afraid, but he wanted to meet her.
One of the managers was walking down the hall and she said, "Hey, do you mind bringing out a dog to meet someone?" So I said, "Sure." When I opened the door, and I'm a huge Ravens fan, I saw Ronnie Stanley. I was stunned.
When I saw Lola and met her for the first time, I honestly didn't know what to think. She was just kind of laying there, just kind of depressed, didn't have any real hope. She like looked up, saw us looking at her, and then just put her head back down. Like she didn't really think that anything would come of it.
I started talking to them about her and what she'd been like. And then Lola walked up to him cautiously at first, and you could see her kind of sniffing around. Within moments, she was giving him the most amazing first kiss that I have ever seen.
It was like it was love at first sight. So she came to life, and I think that meant a lot to him.
She's more than a dog to me. I mean, she's been by my side ever since.
Although Ronnie was already a lifelong dog lover, adopting Lola opened his eyes to the plight of rescues everywhere and motivated him to join forces with Show Your Soft Side, a public service campaign featuring athletes and celebrities dedicated to raising money to increase pet adoptions and delivering a message of compassion toward our less fortunate four-legged friends.
Through this campaign, what we call softies, men like Ronnie who are big and are role models, they pose for this soft side campaign, which is to fight animal abuse and to show compassion from big guys like Ronnie is.
Ever since Ronnie became one of the softies with Show Your Soft Side, he's been participating in Project Runway, where the softies come and they literally walk a runway with our adoptable dogs and cats. His ultimate goal is always to get the dogs adopted. So anything he can to get the dogs adopted, he's definitely up for.
Anything may sound like an exaggeration, but Ronnie is so committed to Project Runway's message of treating rescue animals with compassion that anything apparently includes adopting them himself.
After he had adopted Lola, one thing that he had realized was that Lola doesn't like being alone. So he wanted Lola to have a companion. And Rico was part of this litter that were just ready to be adopted. And Lola absolutely fell in love with that puppy.
Lola had separation anxiety, and she just didn't like to be by herself. So when we brought Rico in, he just wanted to play. So he came in jumping on Lola. So it was love at first sight, even though he's been a handful ever since.
While Lola's journey from unadoptable to unstoppable may seem like one in a million, Ronnie and his friends at Barks hope that her story helps change the odds for all the other so-called unadoptable dogs everywhere.
Lola hit the jackpot, but there are so many other dogs out there that also need homes, and it doesn't take an NFL player to walk in and say, "I want the most unadoptable dog."
It's terrible going to a shelter and seeing all those dogs that really deserve to be in a great home but aren't. So I think people shouldn't overlook older dogs, because those are some of the most well-trained dogs out there and really gonna appreciate everything that you've done for them.